Man, every podcast or talk we start this way. Welcome everyone. Marvin and Bianca are here debating, and Brett is behind the scenes.
Oh, man.
I think one of the things for me is we got to remember is when Brett asks a question or something, we need to repeat it.
That's a great point.
So people know that what we're talking about.
Okay. I should have done that at my speech.
I seen that the other day, and it's kind of a person hears an answer, and they have to make up their own question. Bianca?
Can you ask the audience what I should name my puppy podcast?
Why don't you? You're here. You got a mic.
Can I have
So Bianca is starting a puppy podcast for people who wants to get a pup or have a pup. And she would like to know what she should name it. And she did not ask me. She asked y'all. So if you have a name
I am open to your
for
suggestions.
her puppy podcast, you could let her know. You can put it on there. She might read it. So, Bianca, we're going to start out with what are the tools that we use and what are they for, correct? Mm-hmm. Are you not talking today?
I'm very minimally.
Man.
Holy crap. Marvin, you tell me what you want from me for this podcast.
Like not quite full enough, and then you just accidentally poured a bunch in it and ran it over and made a mess.
What?
That's what we do around here.
What?
We go from one extreme to the other.
I'm just trying to. I don't understand the assignment, Marvin. Just tell me what you need as we're doing this podcast.
You're supposed to be involved, Bianca.
I am. I wrote the notes. I supplied all the gear.
Okay.
I'll ask questions as we go.
We're going to talk about the tools that we use.
I'm going to post this to Facebook.
And the only tool we don't really have is a slip lead. Bianca, could I borrow your slip lead, please?
Oh, yeah, I meant to give you that.
I don't have mine with me because I'm not really working today.
Okay.
I'm just showing up, hanging out.
Okay.
So, for me, I feel that...
I'm going to post this to Facebook.
I feel that, the majority of the dogs, I would say 99% of dogs who come in this door to be trained, I'd put a slip lead on them. And a slip lead is this. And then the ones that we use, we actually sell. They have a lock that you can slip down to your ring so your collar don't just get big and fall off your dog. And the majority of these, when we put them on a dog, they're not the nicest dogs. They drag you, pull you, run backwards, whatever, stop, not want to go with you because they're scared. A lot of these slip leads that are made or out there, the lock on them will go through the ring. So you still end up with a big loop like this with a little dog, and then you lose your dog. So we use the lock. What's wrong, Brett?
Somebody's listening.
I'm posting the Instagram live link, and I put a video. Man, tough crowd.
So I'm not sure what's going on there, but so you see the slip lead we use. Like I said, we start with that a lot. And then we will go to a martingale. This is, I guess, a center pull. I'm not sure what they call this martingale, but for me, whenever we get a dog, this is for a puppy, by the way. We don't have a big dog one in here. Whenever we get dogs in, we try to put a martingale on them if they're very ornery, And then whenever you put a martingale on, you want to tighten your martingale. You want to snug it up pretty well. The whole purpose for the martingale is, I'll show you here in just a second. When you pull the martingale, it makes it smaller and it puts pressure on the dog. It's got to stop so you don't just choke your dog. And it keeps your dog from slipping out of the collar. With that being said, this is a collar that majority of dogs come in with. It's a really nice collar, by the way. It's got nice brass hardware on it. It's got a good lock on it. It's not a breakaway. So with this on majority of people's dogs, it's too big. When you put your leash on your ring and you pull it, if a dog sets back on you, the collar comes off and the dog gets away. So that's the reason we always go with a martingale, to try to prevent that from happening. Bianca, do you have anything to add yet?
I have a question.
Yes.
How often should I check the fit of my dog's collar?
Quite often. I mean, to me, there's no reason not to kind of check it every time you put a leash on.
Yeah.
You're right there,
Some dogs have allergies to certain types of metals or clasps, or maybe they're getting matted and you don't want to have to shave their whole neck off because you didn't care for their coat underneath there. So really paying attention to the coat and skin and fit of the collar is good.
Or they gain weight, or they lost weight.
Or a puppy growing.
Or they grow up,
Yeah, totally.
So you should always keep an eye on your collars. Doesn't matter what type of collar you use, whether it's this. So,
can I ask another question about
yes.
collars? What collars would you leave?
Well, a lot of times it kind of depends on where I have my dog and how
Safe.
how good my dog is.
Yeah.
If I have a real bad ornery dog, that just bounces around on the kennels, or if you got outdoor kennels or something, and you're always afraid they're going to get hung on a fence wire or something, I might take my collars off when I put my dog up until I get them good.
Yeah.
Once I get them good, then for me, I'll leave the martingales on without an issue at all. These collars here, you just want to make sure that they're not too big for their dog and they can get a foot through them or something. I mean, I see some of these on dogs that are so big it's unreal, and you don't want to.
You can slip it right over.
Yeah, you don't want them to. Yeah. And people do this. Excuse for a lot of people is so if their dog gets in trouble, you can pull it off. But I put a collar on my dog so my dog don't get away. So it kind of depends on, I guess, your situation. But for me, always, if I'm taking a dog out in public, if I'm training on a dog, whatever I'm doing, only time you'll see me with one of these on is if it's one of my cow dogs and I've got it tight enough that it don't fall off, but my cow dog don't pull on a leash. If I have it on there, it's because I have a name tag on it and I'm out cowboying. And if he gets away from me, if he gets lost. So for me, the next tool we normally go to, depends on the dog. But majority of the time we go to the command collar. And there's another, I don't know if you call it an aftermarket, or there's another company that makes these.
Looks just like that, but it's garbage.
They break. You can see white speckled glass in it. Yeah. I was told what it is by another manufacturer. And if you try to take them apart like this, a lot of times they'll break the sides off of them. So if you try to go find a cheap one, be careful. We sell all this products here except the martingale right now. We're working on that. But I really like the command collars. I'd say 85%, 90%, maybe 95% of dogs, this is all we use on them.
Yeah.
For a
training.
A pinch type collar for training. And these are very easy to adjust. You just pop them apart and take links out, make them bigger, add links to them. And then we have the prong collars. This is for a smaller dog. And we have these, what's the name of the big ones we use?
Hermspringer. That's made by Hermspringer too. That's just a slip prong. And there's the Hermspringer that has the snap lock that has no give and take.
Yes, and the biggest thing is for these collars is people, for me, they don't understand, is they have the collar so big they slip it over the dog's head. So when they pull the collar, the collar goes together, and all you have is a pulling mechanism. And with this type of collar, without the buckle, you take them apart and put them back together. You put them around your dog and you put them back on. Not all, but a lot of the dogs who need these on them are not really good about just sitting there and letting you put them on. So you got to kind of fight with them, and then they're too big. So these have a quick buckle. So when I put them on, you just put them around the dog's neck and you snap it. And then you already adjust it, or you adjust it that time, and then you have a collar when you pull on it. it puts equal pressure around your dog's neck. So,
can you talk about how important it is to learn how to have the dog on a loose leash when you're using either a prong or a pinch collar that's making a bite?
if you don't have your dog capable of walking on a loose leash, you need to get help.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing because of the fact that you go put this on a dog, and guarantee you could teach a dog to pull through these. People do it all the time. You walk down the street and you see them. They'll have these big old collars on that big old dog, and they'll just be setting back on him everything they got. And it'll be just putting steady pressure on the dog, and the dog gets madder, and he's trying to figure out how to get away from this pain that he can't get away from because you've taught him to pull you like if you're on a sled or rollerblades or roller skates or whatever. And so you put all that time and effort into unknowingly training that dog to drag you down the street, and then you get really aggravated because he is doing it, and you can't find that release point for him. And sometimes the dog will turn around and bite the owner. You know, we've had several people came in that's got bit. One guy, I remember, he had like 100-some-pound Rottweiler that turned and bit him because the dog wanted to get to a bicycle so bad. And that guy, Bianca and I showed him. It took me, an hour, and I had the guy I had Bianca riding a bicycle around the round pen with the dog on a loose leash. And the guy couldn't believe it, and he couldn't understand why he pulled on him so bad, but he gave to me so easily. And it's because I think that if you teach a dog, sometimes, not always, it's not as easy done as said, you know, but if you teach a dog to get off of that pain and how to get off of it and why to stay off of it, a lot of the dogs will stay off of it. But if there's no consequences, I feel they'll just keep pulling. But at the same time, if there's no release, they'll keep pulling because they think they're supposed to.
And if you're not going to learn, practice, utilize the tools appropriately, you shouldn't have them on.
And majority of the time, don't jump online and YouTube it and take off with the training, you know. Go to a trainer and, you know, if you have a trainer in your area or if you want to come see us, do your research, you know. See how the trainer's dogs act, you know. I think that's a lot of, if your trainer's, same thing with horses, if you're going to go buy a horse or hire a trainer to ride your horse, if he can't ride his own horses, you might not want him to train yours.
Okay, can I ask another question about the pinch collar and the prong?
Sure.
How long should my dog wear the training collar?
At a time or in life?
In life.
I don't know. I mean, as long as you need it and a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's
know?
a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you say, oh, well, my dog's been wearing this for 2 weeks and he's not pulling on my collar, on my leash, I'm going to take it off. Why the hell are you going to take it off? He ain't pulling on it. It ain't hurting him. All he's doing is carrying this little bit of weight, you know. So you're not hurting your dog if he's on a loose leash with this collar on him. You're better off to have the collar on him and not need it than to get in that pickle where you need it and you don't have it.
If you're doing really good, you should keep doing really good until you feel like you've not had any instances where you would need it.
Yeah, and I don't even
And
know
even
for
then,
sure.
if your mindset is getting off the tools, I would really want you to dive into that emotionally, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I certainly do not put gear on my dog on a regular basis, but
Me neither.
my e-collar is for sure an insurance policy when I go new places and in public or if I'm doing something crazy.
Yes, and I totally agree. I mean, I have to go find one because Bear don't even have an e-collar no more. We steal it.
Yeah, correct.
And so if I'm going to take my dog Bear to town, or I don't even know if I ever took him to town.
You have a lot. Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah.
So maybe he has the e-collar on when I take him to town.
No.
I've taken him cowboy a
You
lot.
put a slip lead on or
do
you
I?
put a flat collar on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I
You
don't.
put an e-collar on him if you take him to the beach.
Yeah, if I take him to the beach where he can't hear me.
And you don't use it.
For sure. I don't use it, but I have it on
But you
him.
have it.
Yes. And if I'm going to go working cows or goats with him, majority of the time I'll put it on him. just to make sure he don't get selected.
Still might
here.
not use it, but you have it.
Well, I don't ever hardly use it, but I put it on just in case I need it.
And you don't put it on him because he behaves better with it on. You put it on him as an insurance policy if you need to use it.
Always, because my thing is for me and my dogs, and especially working cattle and stock, sometimes my dog will be down there in the heat of the moment and he can't hear me. So I have a choice, as I could either bump him low on the e-collar or I could hit the tone button and he'll break off and come back to me. So it's just for my dog's safety as I have the e-collar on. So we're going to talk about a tie back.
Okay.
Is what I call it. Brett asked a while ago what this was. He hadn't even seen it or didn't realize we had it, I guess. There's all kinds of ways to have these. You know, you can have these with a forked one, with a leash in the middle and 2 snaps hanging down, which a lot of people use. I don't know. I like my cycle dog leashes, and so I use these. But anytime you put a prong collar on a dog, you should have it tied back to, in my world, a martingale. So this is my dog's neck in between these two. And that way when I pull it, it's going to tighten up more. So then I'm going to put my pinch collar on, or even my pinch collar or my prong. And then with these collars, they have a center ring. I'm assuming the ring is to hook this tie back on. I hook the tie back on this, and I'm walking my dog, and these things are known to come apart, especially the ones that you take apart to put on.
Yeah.
And then this pops off, and my dog's free. Well, he's not free because I have a leash here too. He's not free. I'm gonna back up a half a step here. I'm gonna show you the whole system, I guess. Oh, it needs a dog. So this goes on, and then I have the tie back on to the martingale. So let's say my collar comes apart, like I said, they do often, and my dog, I still have my dog. I just got a longer leash. It's kind of aggravating for a minute, but I still have my dog to put my collar back together.
For my dogs, Tilly, if her leash broke, would probably not even leave my heel.
Right.
And if she did, she has 100% recall, even if she sees a goose or a duck or a chicken or a dog or a person or a car. Should I have the tie back? For
safety, I don't know.
It would be responsible for me too.
Well, because my biggest thing is, and we can get on this subject, I'd spend a day on it, you know. The reason that I would want to tie back on my cool dog, even Bear, you know, if I was walking him in town, regardless if I just have a martingale on him, you know, if I just have my martingale, then I could go from this straight to my martingale.
And my martingale can't break.
Yeah, well, it's not going. I mean, it's possible.
Right. It's possible, yeah. Okay.
But if when you're walking, let's say Tilly, let's say you're walking Tilly and she heals perfect, she does everything great. And let's say you're walking down the street and here comes Joe Bob and his 110-pound pit bull. It's really nice. Mm-hmm. And you're, oh man, my collar come off, and Tilly goes over there a foot and a half, say hi to Joe Bob pit bull, and he grabs Tilly by the neck, kills her. Mm-hmm.
If I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, it's kind of your fault because you didn't have your tools on, you know. And I'm not telling everybody to do this. You do what works for you.
I put a prong on Rebel because she's crazy. And
Hyper.
then I put a tie back on Rebel when I'm in public because if she got loose and there was another dog in the facility, she recalls.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't want her to get loose. She's nuts. She's a Ferrari hitting the gas all the time, 24/7. She's really well behaved in public, but I feel very secure having all the right gear
for
on
sure,
her.
and that's the way more people should do it, rather than take a chance that my dog's going to be good.
Yeah.
And so with these tiebacks, like I said, we make them. Brett's going to put them on the website if you want one. But I highly recommend
Really good
do
safety.
not walk your dog with this.
With no tie
Without
back.
a tie back. And I wouldn't even walk my dog with this. We do all the time.
Yeah, we haven't had those fall apart, but just to be responsible.
Yeah, and as many of the lookalikes are out there, and I know them, I can see them and know them.
Yeah.
But somebody just showed up the other day and their dog ate theirs or something. And so they ordered one online real quick, and they got it, and they got one of the ones that breaks. So just be really careful with that. So now,
comments real quick.
oh, what is it, Brett?
Mia asked, does the prong collar and command collar have the same purpose for uses? Oh, have the same purpose for uses, or do they have a different purpose?
You know, that's for me a great question. If I go to this collar, and you could get in some hot debates, probably even with some great trainers, you know, on this, and I'm pretty good at debating. But I've used this collar. I've been a dealer for command collars. Well, I was a dealer. Now I don't think I am. I'm not even sure what I am. But I've used this collar for maybe 15 years, the command collar. And I've had great success with it. Not very often do I go to this. Sometimes I go to this because I have a small person, be a man, woman, or kid, and they may not have the strength, or some people feel more comfortable with the big old metal prong collars. And I use these. I mean, like I said, the big ones. I don't never hardly use these little ones. Normally,
That's Rebels.
Yeah, I normally don't use these.
She's really small.
But the big metal ones, you know, we use on dogs. But always the thing for me to remember is you want a slack leash. So sometimes people need this to get it, and sometimes they get it with this. The majority of the time, we get it with this.
Yeah.
It's easier for us to buy these than these. I don't even know how much difference in money is in them, but one day we'll probably have to go to these because we won't be able to find these.
Yeah.
They're getting harder and harder to come by.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question, Mia. The biggest thing is that if you need one of these and you got to use it a lot, you need to get some more help.
Yeah. Either
or this or.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people ask, how long do I have to have my dog wear the tools? Well, we want you to wear them long so that you're secure, safe, prepared to train, but you shouldn't really have to use it every day.
It's kind of like my car and the brakes, you know. I always want to have them.
Yeah.
But
you don't drive down the street.
Yeah, I don't drive around just pumping my brakes all the time. Well, unless my car don't have very good brakes, I have to keep my brakes pumped up, but...
Rochelle commented, she said, the only time Chevy doesn't have it is if we are using a slip lead.
Good.
And the slip lead is secure if it has the appropriate lock.
Yeah, it's the locks down on them,
Yeah.
you know. So, Bianca, are we ready to go to leashes? Or
Yeah.
do we want to go to e-collars?
Let's do leashes, and I want to talk about e-collars kind of in depth.
So, the leashes that we still use, and we sell these on our website, is Cycle Dogs. They make our custom leashes now with our logos on and stuff. The difference with us is we have this type of snap instead of the other snap. And the reason I went to these snaps is because I had a few dogs get loose with the other snaps. And
Yeah.
I don't sell a leash with the other one on them. I know people that won't buy my leash because they don't like this snap. And it's like, well, you know, that's fine. I don't like whiskey either, but you do, so. These leashes have a bottle opener on them, or you can hang your poop bag on it.
Yeah.
Or if you carry your leash around your shoulders like Bianca, you can put your leash like that.
That's what I like it for.
And I really like these leashes. I still use them every day. I mean, that's the only leash I use for training other than long line. And like I said, we have these for sale. We have them in 4 foot and 6 foot. I think we got like 6 or 8 different colors right now. And then these leashes I've been making. Bianca and the girls that work here really like these. They
All
use
of
them
us
a lot.
are using those now, yeah.
I don't. I like the leashes, and I'd probably use them if I just had to have it on my dog to walk around in town, and I lived in town. I'd rather use probably than that. But me training on a dog, fighting, debating, whatever you want to call a dog, I go with that leash
That
over
one's
this.
heavier duty. Yeah.
Huh?
That one's heavier duty.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just
So
makes
if they're
life
really
easier.
pulling on you, that's not quite as comfortable in your hand as the cycle dog is. So if you have a puller and you're still training, the cycle dog one is more comfortable.
Yes, and for me, I think that you should have this. You should have that. You should have that in a 4 foot, a 6 foot. You should have the rope. I mean, the long line, the tie back. You should have a martingale. I mean, all the money you spend on toys, cancel a couple weeks of toys and buy some more tools. But this was the same. I put a ring on the end so it goes around your neck and you snap the ring on or you put back on it while you're walking or whatever you want to do. I put a ring up here so people kind of got a place to hold their hand. I made one for Heather the other day. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
But it has a ring here.
Oh.
So she could hold it here or she could hold it here. And she has a ring. I tried to make Bianca one, but she didn't want it. But I'm not sure she was listening to me that day. She might not have understood what I said.
I can't imagine that I wasn't listening.
Yeah, and then we have the long lines that I make. They're 15 foot. We have 30 foot. And we make 50 foot, different size ones, and all kinds of colors. These are really good for training on your dogs. If I had, well, I don't know. It's different for people that live in town or a busy road like mine. You know, if you're going to walk your dog down my road, you should have it on a leash. You shouldn't even be out there, but if you're going to be out there, you dang sure should have your dog on a leash. So
Chuck Doodle said, "Can you show the collar one more time?" I'm not sure which one it was. I'm thinking it was in between the green one and the purple one.
the leash or the collar?
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Collar.
So these are the martingales, and this is the only way I would walk my dog. You put them on your dog loosely, then you adjust them up. This one was fitted for a puppy the other day. This is a puppy. I don't know, is this called a center pull martingale?
Yeah.
So it's a center pull martingale.
Most martingales are designed that way.
Yeah, and whenever you pull it, it tightens the martingale, the collar, so your dog can't back out of it. And you could set it so it don't choke your dog, you know. I mean, this, I don't know, it might slow his air down a half a second, but for me, if you have to use this, it's your dog's part I don't recommend really. And then here's the prong collars. This is a smaller size, you know, for Great Danes and Pit Bulls. So, Bianca, you leaving me?
I am. Yeah, we can either touch on that or we can do that in a separate one next week. It's up to you.
What does he call next week?
Yeah,
I'm
we have a
just
lot
gonna-
to talk about with that.
And then this is the command collar that we use also. So, any of these collars, I'm going to go over the tie back just in case you didn't see it.
Chuck said we came late to the party.
Oh, that's okay.
You'll be able to rewatch it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go on this pinch collar. I'm going to put my tie back on that. I'm going to put my tie back on my ring,
Is that my lesson here?
on my martingale. And then
Oopsies.
your leash goes on here. So when you walk your dog, you have your martingale, you have your pinch collar, and you have your leash. In case your pinch collar comes apart, you still have your dog. It's just going to be a little bit messy, but you still got your dog. And like Bianca said, as she was walking out the door, anybody who wants to look at this some more, just go back and review our podcast, and it's all on there. But I won't walk a dog with this collar because if you pull it, your dog sits back, he gets away. This collar, if your dog pulls back, it tightens up and it don't come off his head. So all the stuff we have for sale except for the martingales, I've got to figure out how I'm going to make those or buy some to have for sale. So, Brett, do we have any questions that we need to answer before we bail?
No, that's it.
All right. So remember, these always come apart. So I would not walk a dog with any prong collar without a tie back. All right. Next episode or two, we're going to go over the e-collar. So thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great day.